Hello and welcome to another episode of Chuchu is a Ranker. We're going to continue on the best albums of the year list. This time it's 1983. 1983, a really great year for albums. We're slowly creeping towards kind of mid-80s Nirvana. So without further ado, let's be complete rankers and rank up a storm. These are my personal top 10 albums from 1983. So we're going to kick off this list with Punch the Clock by Elvis Costello. So to be honest, I'm not really a huge Elvis Costello fan. I've listened to classic records like My Aim Is True, This Year's Model and Armed Forces, and for me they're just, alright, they're fine. I don't dislike them or anything, but they're not really records that drive me, crazy with excitement or anything. However, Punch the Clock, I do like quite a bit, certainly more than his previous work. That's a bit mysterious because this record, whilst it has fair reviews, isn't really held in the same regard as those classic LPs that I've already listed. So it's a bit of an outside opinion for sure. I think the reason is that this was a change of pace for Elvis Costello, and he broke away from his kind of punkier guitar-based music and used lots of kind of jazz instrumentation. You have piano and horns and upright bass and all that type of stuff. And I think that really works for him, in my opinion, which is, weird for me because I'm more of a guitar-focused listener of music. I like guitar music a lot, but here I like the kind of extra space that affords Elvis Costello. I think his lyrics come through better on this, and the melodies too. And yeah, tons of good tracks on here, of course. Every Day I Write the Book, amazing single, really cool. Shipbuilding, I love the classical piano on that, it's really awesome. Charm School is really catchy, and Pills and Soap has more of the synth stuff creeping in, kind of more new wavy. So yeah, this is a good record. I enjoyed this one, and a step forward in my particular appreciation for Elvis Costello. Good stuff. Next up, we have State of Confusion by the Kinks. So back on the 1981 list where the Kinks appeared, I noted that was probably going to be their only appearance on these Album of the Year lists, apparently. It's turned out not to be true, because here's State of Confusion. State of Confusion is definitely going to be the last appearance, because after this the Kinks kind of settled into a late career malaise, so this was their last kind of good record. It is really good though, tons of stuff to enjoy here. This record is super catchy, pushing on the post-punk and punk of give the people what they want into a more sort of new wavy direction. Yeah, tons of good stuff on this. State of Confusion, super catchy. Come Dancing, big hit in the United States, really cool. You got some more emotional songs on this as well. Property, Heart of Gold, really awesome. I'm also a fan of the Young Conservatives, I think that's really catchy. And Cliches of the World, B-Movie, has some really cool post-punk guitar in it, really like that one. So yeah, this is just a great pop record. More good stuff from the Kinks. Next up, we have Color by Numbers, which was the debut album by Culture Club. Now, when I think of really cheesy 80s music, especially involving New Wave or the New Romantics, Culture Club is just one of those bands that immediately appear in my mind. I had no idea that their record would be good. I thought, when I sat down to listen to this, I thought it was going to be crap. But actually, it's really good. Who knew? In fact, I would say there's only one song I don't like off this, which is the final song, Victims. Everything else on this is absolutely gangbusters. This record fucking rules. Of course, you have Karma Chameleon, huge hit on it, it's really good. But like I say, every song on this is as good as Karma Chameleon and often better. I don't think that's the strongest song off the album. Other great songs on this, Church of the Poison Mind, Miss Me Blind, absolutely great songs. This whole record, really catchy, really solid. It's got some really cool guitar solos, it's really colourful, and yeah, just a lot better than I thought it was going to be. A surprise for sure, but a welcome one. Next up, we have another debut album, this time from R.E.M. with Murmur. So I'm a big R.E.M. fan, and this is a good debut album from them. I really love Peter Buck's kind of arpeggiated, jangle, sharp guitar playing. Like, it doesn't really have any distortion on it on this album, but it just sounds so energetic and so kind of like aggressive. Like, I really love that guitar style. It's a big influence on my own type of guitar playing, actually. Tons of good songs on this. Like, I could just list off the entire track listing, goddammit. Like, Radio Free Europe, fantastic opener. Pilgrimage, fantastic stuff. Talk about passion, awesome. Moral Kiosk, really punky. Catapult, Sitting Still. Shaking Through, giant ballad, love that. Like, We Walk, sounds like the Smiths, a year before the Smiths were to come into being. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I think actually my favourite song is the closing track, West of the Fields. I love like the dual vocals on the chorus of that. It sounds like there's a raven in the background squawking behind the singing, you know, like ravens in the field. Really atmospheric, really like it. Yeah, not R.E.M's strongest record, but this is a damn fine debut. Awesome stuff. Next up, coming in just outside the top 5, we have Let's Dance by David Bowie. So on this record, David Bowie is just like abandoning his art rock type of stuff altogether, just moving wholesale into new wave pop. A lot of synths on this. With that in mind, this record isn't considered to be on the same classic status as like his kind of more art rockish endeavors. However, I really like this one. This one's really awesome, really catchy, fantastic guitar playing on this. There's kind of like this bluesy type of guitar playing, which I absolutely love. Full of like really great guitar solos, this record. Yeah, and tons of catchy songs. Modern Love, China Girl, Let's Dance. I mean, Let's Dance, it's just one of Bowie's best songs, like full stop. Absolutely fantastic. Criminal World, Cat People, Putting Out Fire, you know, that's the song from Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. Like, it was used really well in that movie, and yeah, it's really awesome on this record. Yeah, this is just an absolutely fantastic pop record by David Bowie. I really like it. Good stuff by him. Kicking off the top 5, we have Power, Corruption and Lies by New Order, their sophomore album. On this record, they're definitely moving out of the shadow of Joy Division. They don't really sound like Joy Division anymore on this record. They have like a rhythmic kind of groove. Everything is kind of like dancey and propulsive, and definitely setting foot hard into the arena of like rhythmic pop. Yeah, just tons of good stuff off this. Age of Consent, really catchy immediately, like a burst of sun straight off on the first track. In the middle of the record, you have some more emotional songs. 586, really cool. Your Silent Face, probably my favourite song off the album. Yeah, not a bad track on this. Do wish that Blue Monday was on it, but it's not. Nevertheless, this is an absolutely fantastic follow-up to Movement from New Order, and again, a fantastic step, stepping fully out of the shadow of Joy Division and truly becoming their own band. Next up, we have Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden, the band's 4th album. On this one, they're pushing on from Number of the Beast into a more kind of prog rock metal hybrid direction, which they would follow through the remainder of their career. Tons of good songs off this. Actually, looking at the track listing now, not a bad song off this whole record. I love everything on it. Yes, I even love Quest for Fire, even though it hilariously mentions that cavemen and dinosaurs, you know, walk the earth together. Really stupid stuff, but I still love it. Highlights, again, you can just mention the whole track listing in the highlights. Where Eagles Dare, absolutely amazing opener. Flight of Icarus, awesome single. Die With Your Boots On, The Trooper are just Iron Maiden standards. As I said, I got a guilty pleasure for Quest for Fire, and To Tame a Land is this album's huge epic, this time based on Dune, which was recently made into a huge blockbuster movie by Daniel Villeneuve. Really good movie, go see that if you haven't seen it. Yeah, This is just another fantastic record by Iron Maiden. I don't think it's quite one of my favourite Iron Maiden records, but it's still, yeah, it's just still a flawless example of what Iron Maiden do. Amazing stuff. Next up, we have An Innocent Man by Billy Joel, one of Billy Joel's biggest hit albums. Absolutely brilliant record. I love almost every song off this. This is the album where Billy Joel turned inward to his youth and looked back at like the doo-wop music of the 50s and kind of went in that direction. Yeah, a doo-wop album in the 80s. Who knew that would be good? But it's absolutely brilliant. Tons and tons of good stuff off this record. All the singles are brilliant. An Innocent Man, the acapella, The Longest Time, just awesome. Tell Her About It, so upbeat and catchy. And talking about upbeat and catchy, we have Uptown Girl. Uptown Girl, in the middle of a... You know how it goes, it's just awesome. You've heard it on the radio a million times. It's just one of the greatest pop singles of all time. Leave a Tender Moment Alone, I really love that one with the strange kind of like harmonica on it, really awesome. Keeping the Faith, the closing song, actually one of my very favourite Billy Joel songs. Yeah, just this whole record is just fantastic. I love it, I love it. Go check it out, it's a 5-star classic in my book. So, this year's silver medal is going to go to Highland Hard Rain, which is the debut album by Aztec Camera. Absolutely love this record. I've just spent this previous winter just listening to this non-stop. Like, yeah, brilliant record. I love it. I love it so much. This one like has a kind of like a folkish kind of feel to it, like electro folk pop. Hard to explain really, but there's lots of really great guitar work on this, ethnic or Spanish guitar trills. Roddy Frame is obviously a really great guitarist and a pretty decent lyricist as well. His music really kind of sounds like Echo and the Bunnymen or the Smiths or R.E.M, like definitely in that vein. If you know a band called Idlewild, kind of sounds like that too. Great stuff. Yeah, and tons of amazing songs on here. The singles, absolutely phenomenal. Oblivious, the opening track, super catchy. Walk Out to Winter, just, I'm obsessed with that song. I think it's great. Boy Wonders, again, really super catchy. I love the end of that song where he's chanting the Highland Hard Rain, Highland Hard Rain. Great stuff. Yeah, love every song on this. The final 3 songs are also incredibly strong, surprisingly. Lost Outside the Tunnel, Back on Board, Down the Dip. Like, what a way to finish with that trilogy of songs. This is absolutely brilliant. If you have a party or a mixer or something, this is just one of those records you can just stick on and someone will invariably come up to you and ask you who this is. Can't recommend this one enough. If you haven't heard this album, go check it out. It's really awesome. So here we are at the top of the mountain. The gold medal for 1983 is going to go to Porcupine by Echo and the Bunnymen, which was Echo and the Bunnymen's 3rd LP. Yeah, I absolutely love this. It's one of my favorite post-punk records of all time. It's twisted and gnarly and super dark. It's also really sonically interesting. There seems to be lots of things going on every song. The mixing desk must have been totally maxed out, but instead of sounding like overcooked, it's just really fascinating. You can pick out new details every time you hear it. It's brilliant. Yeah, lots of fantastic tracks on this. The opening, The Cutter, one of Echo and the Bunnymen's biggest hits. The Back of Love, super catchy with those jumble drums. Clay with its like overwhelming distortion and discordant guitars. Porcupine with its odd song structure. Heads Will Roll, totally like mosh-inducing rocker. Awesome stuff. Gods Will Be Gods, just again, like I said, that thing with the mixing desk being maxed out, just brilliant. It sounds just so full and so loud. It's just awesome. So yeah, this is an absolutely brilliant album, one of Echo and the Bunnymen's very best. If you want to know more about Echo and the Bunnymen and my feelings for this record, I did a full ranker episode. Please go check that out if you're interested. And there we are, that's my 1983 list, but that's definitely not your list. I'm sure your list is completely different, so please sound off in the comment section and tell me what are your favourite records of 1983. Please make sure to check back for the 1984 list, which is coming soon, which should be really fun, because in that one you're going to have R.E.M. and the Smiths and the Cure and Echo and the Bunnymen, and pretty much that's going to run like a list of my favourite bands, so it's going to be super fun to see who's going to come out on top in that one. Like, share, subscribe, and all that other kind of YouTube jazz. Keep yourself healthy, have a great new year, but most of all, just keep on ranking.
Still recoil when the skin is lost. Am I the worthy cause? Will I still be soiled when the dirt is on?